Hey viewers, you're watching the Savera and I am Vidhi Joshi. Even as SpaceX's Starship flight exploded during splashdown on its ninth test today, the company's founder Elon Musk blamed it on fuel leaks. This is the third time in a row that Starship flight has faced issues during the test flight. The company's last two test flights, the 7th in January and 8th in March, test flight also ended prematurely with the destruction of the aircraft. The ninth test flight of Starship, which blasted off at about 5:06 a.m. as per Indian Standard Time from the company's Starbase launch site in Texas, successfully reached orbit, flying farther than on its two previous attempts. However, the spacecraft's payload bay door failed to open, preventing the planned release of simulated Starlink satellites. Around 30 minutes into the mission, SpaceX confirmed a fuel tank leak aboard the vehicle. The first stage Super Heavy booster exploded shortly before its expected splashdown, and live video showed the upper stage vehicle spinning uncontrollably before its planned re-entry through Earth's atmosphere due to final leaks. Leaks caused loss of main tank pressure during the coast and re-entry phase, Musk shared in a post on his social media platform X. Contact with the booster was lost shortly after the start of the landing burn when it experienced a rapid, unscheduled disassembly approximately 6 minutes after launch, bringing an end to the first reflight of a Super Heavy booster, SpaceX said in a statement. However, Musk called the flight an achievement and noted that there had been no loss to the heat shield tiles. Starship made it to the scheduled ship engine cutoff, so big improvement over the last flight. Also, no significant loss of heat shield tiles during ascent. Lot of good data to review, Musk added. SpaceX noted that the company will continue to review data and work toward their next flight test. Standing 403 feet tall, Starship and Heavy booster, the world's biggest and most powerful rocket system. It will launch the moon lander for NASA's Artemis 3 mission that aims to land astronauts on the moon by 2026. Notably, Tuesday's launch came on the heels of back-to-back Starship upper stage breakups during the two previous test flights that generated spectacular showers of flaming debris along the flight paths. Since then, SpaceX engineers have carried out extensive testing and implemented multiple upgrades and improvements to minimize the chances for similar failures. The Federal Aviation Administration, which oversaw both failure investigations, gave SpaceX permission to proceed with IFT-9 last week after wrapping up the IFT-8 review. The FAA conducted a comprehensive safety review of the SpaceX Starship Flight 8 mishap and determined that the company has satisfactorily addressed the cause of the mishap and therefore the Starship vehicle can return to flight, the agency said in a statement. The FAA will verify SpaceX implements all corrective actions. In both of the previous failures, commercial airline traffic in and around the Straits of Florida was held up pending confirmation. Falling debris was no longer a threat. For the ninth flight, the length of the aircraft hazard area was expanded from about 1,000 statute miles to around 1,840 miles, and SpaceX was required to launch the rocket during non-peak air travel periods. The Super Heavy Starship rocket is critical to NASA's plan to land astronauts on the moon in the next few years and to Musk's plan to eventually send humans to Mars. NASA plans to use a variant of the Starship upper stage as a lunar lander in the agency's Artemis program. NASA wants to use its own rocket and crew capsule to ferry astronauts to lunar orbit, where the SpaceX lander will be waiting to carry them down to the surface. The Trump administration wants to cancel NASA's Space Launch System rocket and Orion crew capsule, leaving the future of the Artemis program as it's currently envisioned in doubt. For his part, Musk has argued the United States should pass up moon missions, which he called a distraction, and instead head directly to Mars. In any case, the Super Heavy Starship rocket is expected to play a major role in future deep space exploration, regardless of the target. But multiple successful test flights will be needed to demonstrate the safety and reliability needed for astronauts and passengers heading to the moon, Mars, or beyond. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.